Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you're returning. My name is Burr, and if you are a fan of MMOs, RPGs, JRPGs, obscure video games, art, or music, then you should subscribe because that's what we do here. Also, don't forget to like this video and follow if you're watching on Twitch. At 900 subscribers on YouTube, we are going to be playing a classic PlayStation 2 game called A Dog's Life. If you like early 2000s humor, then you're gonna love this game. I assure you. It's quirky. It's yeah, you get to play as a dog. 2 dogs. It's a good time. So yeah, 900, we're gonna do that. But today we are continuing Final Fantasy XIV's MSQ, and we are starting Endwalker. I have been super excited to get into this expansion. I've got a lot of peeps who have been following along who have been very excited to get into this expansion. So, yeah, today we begin. Hi guys, welcome in everyone. Yes, doggos. It's a good time. It's a funny game. Yes, I know. Endwalker is the big one today, but I think the dog will be a little fun thing to do with you guys. I remember it being so weird. I haven't played it since, high school. So I just remember it being really, really goofy and kind of a little crude, and it was just so funny. So looking forward to that. But hello, guys. Hello. Also, I just wanted to remind you that I do have a house that, I have to start decorating now since I have more money. So if you guys ever when you're watching me, wanna come hang out at my house, it's here. My brother was like, you should start in the house so people know, especially for like raid day. If you don't want to do anything, we all just chill in between. Obviously I have to, do more. It was initially supposed to be like I was dividing it with another one of my brothers and my brother's lady friend, but apparently they don't want to decorate it, so I think I have control over the entire house. So I'm gonna start slowly making it look more interesting. But yeah, I thought that was a good idea. Remind you that we do have a home that we can hang out in on those times. Yeah, Sean, it's so funny. They come back to me almost like in fever dreams. I'll be like, whoa, what? Was that a game? It's so funny. Hey, Devil! Technically, it's not my own house, but yes. I think you can change the outside, how it looks. So they are pretty customizable, but I don't think you can change the shape of the outside too much. I haven't looked into it too much because usually you need to bid on them and then also have a lot of money to do that. But yeah, it's the perks of being the older sister. And the newbie in the game. My brothers have been very kind and helpful with just giving me things and letting me mess around in the stuff they've had. It's going pretty well, Devils. I'm excited. We're gonna start Endwalker tonight, so it's pretty exciting. Watched the trailer last stream and I've been thinking about it pretty much non-stop. So, is it? Yeah, I wasn't sure. I've only started decorating inside, so I was like, I don't know all that you could do. Yes, Endwalker. Very exciting. I can't believe how far we've come. It's been less than a year. It's almost a year that I started Final Fantasy XIV, though. I think we started playing in March. Then I started it like on stream with you guys, so that's pretty crazy. This is really crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have a lot of fun with it. Well, you saw, Sean, when we were like walking through and all the different houses, how they had them set up. They get pretty serious. I know Gemini's been working on their house for a while, and one of these days we'll show it off on stream. Oh wow, 4 years. That's a long time. It's crazy how fast it goes. Like, I didn't even realize that it's almost been a year until we were talking about the Moogle event that's coming up in March. Because that was my first event that I did. It wasn't long after I joined that there was the event, so. Aw, well that's good, Latios. See, it's like you have to be grateful, especially because housing is so weird in this game. It's kind of crazy how you have to like auction them off, but I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't think that makes sense, but like I said, I don't know much about it, so maybe there's more to it than that. Oh, look. She's playing a beautiful song. Let's always clap for the bards. It's hard to decorate them. Like, even when I played The Sims, I was never good at decorating the houses. I only really messed around with the people's lives. Is it in here that we have to go? Is it in here? I think so. I think so, maybe. It depends on who you speak with, Sean. But alright. Well, are you guys ready? Gotta go talk to Alfie. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Bert, do you have some time to talk? Maybe? I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's respect and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Telephoroi. The Telephoroi's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all you hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered, at least. But after what happened to Arenvald and Podola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Telephoroi are under the leadership of Fandaniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenos Yeagalvis, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varus, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. He's doing great work. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it's all the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labor to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seemed safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by the Telephoroi. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Charlian, I am sure of it. Master Fortuno's comments regarding the final days were curious, to say the least. The Forum knows more than it is letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from Mistress Cryle. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. Dude, I'm very excited to go see Charlian. You are to head to Limsa and board the next ship bound for Charlian. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Baldesian, come to assist with the Order's restoration. The arrangements may be settled, but what of your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. Oh. I am eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. The song, though. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. A new journey begins indeed. Crazy. That was a wild song. Oh, sorry. Phone sound. Anyway. So we're going to Lipsa, right? That's what they said? Yes. Speak with Tataru and Lipsa. Oh my goodness. I love the music in this game so much. I've been listening to like lo-fi playlists of the music while I'm doing schoolwork and other writing stuff. It's such a vibe. So good. Where are we? The ferry docks. Ah. That does make sense, doesn't it? Oh man, earlier there was like connection problems. I think we were being DDoSed again. Sorry, my nose. I was really nervous that that was going to interfere with what we were doing today. No Pictomancer right now. We're gonna warrior through it, I think. But Pictomancer is probably gonna be what I'll use for the raids. But especially to get through like the main scenario stuff, I kind of like being a warrior. I was a warrior of light. I don't know. I think it's fitting. Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage and the fee is non-refundable. It's crazy. And it's crazy to do it on Valentine's Day of all days. Like, where's the love? The ship for Charlian should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close at hand.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, The street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louisoix of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, called out.
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Funny.
Will this be your first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company.
Oh
Or
my
I'll be
goodness.
forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
So
Better.
cute. My gosh. Adorable. Stop it, guys.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland.
Poor
It's
baby.
just, we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I'll bring them back safe and sound, I promise. No sense worrying about the things we're powerless to change. Jeez, I know, poor Tataru. We're always leaving her.
I'll hold you to that.
Don't worry, I get this.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Horribolda.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower.
It's so funny, like these these side characters, how they do come back. It's kind of cool. It's like for real or something.
Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey and promise that they'll look after things here until you return.
Yes, I changed her hair a little bit. Gemini gave me a couple different hairstyles, so I figured because it's been a minute that maybe she might change her hair. I was like so partial to the pigtails, but then I was like, you know what? Don't have to change anything else. We'll just change her hair. You don't want to be a Lala anymore, Latios?
We will too, of course. Aye, we your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
Aww.
It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
It's true, you can always go back to being a Lala. That's fair. I feel like someday I'll get tired of maybe being an Aura, but right now I love her. I made other side like alts on places, but yeah, that's what's good about this game is you can change it up, and it's still the same character, just a little different looking. I look forward to seeing it if you do.
Have a safe journey, and please, please be careful.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
Is that our boy Emmett? Okay. I'm like, what the heck?
And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
He gonna be the next ghost that haunts us? Being the warrior of light, we also are kind of a medium of sorts. Just communicate with all the dead spirits. Aww.
Here. Feel.
This is taking me back to when I first started the game. It started on a pirate, well, on a ship. That's crazy. That gives me chills. I'm like, don't cry. It's wild.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow early riser.
Oh.
Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt. Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good.
Huh.
Why not join the others on deck? Charlian should be coming into view at any moment.
Okie dokie. These two must be so nervous. I would have so many butterflies in my belly after that meeting with my father. It is a ghostie. The heck?
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad.
What?
Hear, feel, think.
What?
And thus do we meet face to face at last. My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Oh my gosh, I thought she was just the crystal. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But yeah, why now? That's wild.
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Eidolon has always been, a primal. Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental, which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlayan's just over yonder.
Cast your peepers.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land.
Wild.
We shall meet again, and soon.
All right, Miss Ma'am. If you say so.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
I agree. I think it would be cool to go on a big old ship. Someday.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh, I see it.
I don't. Okay, now I do. I'm like, let me see it. Fancy.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You're not alone.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
These are babies.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper.
Oh, that's so cool, Tony. Also, thank you, Latios.
There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
It's crazy that we're coming here because we've heard about it from the beginning. Like, this place. I thought it was just a place you couldn't visit anymore, ever again. That's so funny, Sean. There's so many references in these games. This game. It probably somehow was inspired by it. Ta-da! Endwalker! It's official! We are here! Officially! My goodness.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Ala Megan's soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
They just like their books.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Oh dear.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
Yeah.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders, especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge.
True.
If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Crown has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
Okay. Easy enough.
Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we? Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahatir of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
So interesting.
See how it glows? That list is etherically linked with the citizen registry kept in the main repository.
What?
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home.
Crazy.
Now, who do we have here?
It's an iPad. That's it.
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alizé Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny.
Oh.
And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
Oh.
We shall keep that in mind.
I just would have.
These last two are not Charlian natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Nope.
Name and occupation?
I've been artisan.
Indeed. Your profile describes
Oh, no.
you as an adventurer, but one also trained in the rather more constructive pursuits of procurement and production. You may enter. And you, sir?
I was nervous to say adventurer, because, like, these people scare me.
Justinian Varlino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
I know what would I kind of wanted to know what they would say if I did that. Like, oh no. Don't deny him. Cryle!
If you'll allow me.
To the rescue.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning.
Oh no.
Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Cryle is not gonna let Estinian escape. Okay?
Cryle, it is good to see you.
She chased him around the world to make sure he would become a scion. She's not gonna let it, like, him get lost and separated now.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you will seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Aw. So sweet. So funny. Hey! Hey! Perfect. Little Graha and Sharlayan. Love it. You look so cute next to Cryo. Except my Alexander is just a little invasive. Sorry for that. Here you go. Adorable. I was like, who's this person in our group? They're watching the event too. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Look at this beautiful city. It's so funny. Nice little port town. Fantastic. It's so good to see you pop in that audios. It always makes me smile. Adorable. Hi, Dave. Always, always the right answer. What do we get here? Don't know if it's... Oh? Ooh. That's fancy. Very fancy. Look at you, little warrior. Alright, let's continue, shall we? Moving onward. I like that axe, though. That's cool. Oh, I just saw your name, Dave. Sorry. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is Baroness Tinian's first time in Sharlayan, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levier estate and such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetherit Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. What's Himmy's gonna do? I too have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith, by thy leave. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. Nah, that won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. He's such a loner. But I could... Oh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you'll have me. Come there, Charlian awaits. Oh yeah, it's been like a long time for him, kind of, technically. Why? It's so funny, my eyeballs were in the seas. That's so funny. Howdy! Oh, you guys. It's so fun to see you pop up here. Hooray! 3 warriors just standing around looking cool. The eyeballs, they were just like lined up perfectly in the seas of, I don't know, quest accepted. It was so funny to me. I think right now we're going to take our little quick break because I feel like, you know, there's going to be some fun, interesting exploration happening. We're going to learn about this city. So, puppy break real fast, and then we'll continue forward. Just be like 5-10 minutes. But we'll be right back. Hola, welcome back everybody. Hi Aramel. It's good to see you in the chat. I think I really like Warrior. I still have a lot of work to do. I'm becoming better as Warrior, but I really do enjoy it. It's so funny playing like the DPS. Because I've only played like ranged DPS, but it's so different. I will often find when I first start doing like a dungeon for the day on my ranged classes, that I have to like stop charging forward. I'll often like start and then I'm like, oh gosh, wait. Wait, I don't do that. I don't run in first. Like today, even with Picto, I accidentally like pulled a group and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like I can't. I see a group and I just start attacking. I can't help it. It's the way it be. How was the game? Alright, let's talk to Mr. Graha here. After you, my friend, I am more than content to follow your lead. Oh, he's now accompanying you. Escort mission through Charlian. In the event you use the Ethernet, he'll catch up to you. You can leave Graha behind, however, by entering into a different area. Oh jeez, is he gonna like lollygag? You may also speak to him and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Graha accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While Graha is accompanying you, next try speaking with Cryle. Oh my goodness, this is so funny. Is he gonna follow me? He does follow me! It's like classic RPG. Oh sure, yeah! Well, we look forward to seeing you again once that's finished. Oh no, that's so sad. Better luck next time, eh? All set? Then let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the Last Stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. She's now also accompanying us. Lead your 2 companions to the last stand and speak with Cryle at the designated location. While you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way which offer additional topics of discussion. Oh, like little banter. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. This is adorable. Oh my gosh. It's so fun. Like a traditional RPG. It'd be funny if they made them walk inside of you, but we have come so far from that. We do not walk inside of each other anymore. Let's see, here's a conversation point. Alright. Hi guys, talk to me. The giant statue in the harbor. Oh yeah, that's the one that was pouring something. This path leading out towards the sea is known as the Thaliak Stroa, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. As you know, the Sharlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliak was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive as to that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Sharlayans can, and do, worship the divinities of their choosing. Interesting. Now that is a sight one could hardly forget, the great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldician, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. Aww. Wow. I do love the lore with like all the different guardians, if you will. Oh no! The camera operator was distracted, I guess. Hold on, there's another speech point over here. Keep up, Isle! Come on, come on! Look at Cryle on her little legs. It's so mean. Hi! I'm joining this other person over here. Let me zoom in closer so it's easier to target these guys. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer would be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You have been cleared by the immigration officials, after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Sharlayan the same way it is in Eorzea. Yeah, we'll see if that happens. Oh no, these people. They seem pretty uptight. This place is called the Peristyle, and it is the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Sharlayan's pursuit of knowledge, namely, large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seems to keep the attendants busy. Specimens, you say? Interesting. Alright, our point of interest is over this way, the last stand. We spoke there. That's about the statue. Nope, we're passing it. Read the map. Reading is hard. It's right here. It's this glowing piece. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Charlian tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. Oh no. Why doesn't that surprise me? They're like, you put some salt and pepper on it, and they're like, oh, it's too spicy. How can I put this? Oh yeah, that loaf. The food is, it's bland. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charlian, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu, not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Charlian when it came to cheap and convenient, Raha, but surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Right, Aramil? Jeez, if you're a foodie, avoid Charlian, okay? You'll be sorely disappointed. So funny. Good for that guy, though. Making his own little setup. He found his own way. Good on him. Alright, we gotta go to... Oh yeah, the Aetheryte Plaza. Right, Tony? Like, once people realized food can taste good, I'm sure he made a good amount of money. They're like, no way! This is good for me and it tastes delicious! Sold. Let's attune to this. Yes, that's the best kind of job you can have. An unusual shape, isn't it? Oh yeah, now that you mention it. I assure you, however, that it's perfectly functioning aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Charlian stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Alagon Aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Charlian's largest marketplace. Wonder how Estinian is faring. That's the entrance to the Confluence. I have no doubt that expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. Foreshadowing, eh? Speaking of aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tended to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. I was pleasantly surprised when Mistress Tataru informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for transportation costs as part of our duties, but I find old habits hard to break. That, and I'd rather not be bothered filling out the necessary paperwork. I can't blame him. That's so funny, though. Oh, right here. Is this a library? What is this? The Vogons! Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? He's so excited. There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Ah, perhaps I'll return here later then. Jeez, what a nerd. These little open-air bookstalls are so uniquely Charlian. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. That is cute. I love it. This must be the Agora. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Charlian as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out, for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has a particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetheryte Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. Nice, Dave. I can't PvP for the life of me. I have no idea what I'm doing. Back to the Aetheryte Plaza. Then go north. It's honestly so pathetic to watch me try to PvP. Like, I just run in and die, and I'm like, okay, let's do that again. Nymphaeum. This is the Nymphaeum, an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Charlians, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of the knowledge which flows from Thaliak's divine ewer. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city and a propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. These little decorative features are typical of Charlian architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. Do, do, do. Alright, what is it, Kryl? Fill us in. The grand structure before you is the rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in my mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Charlian. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up whenever you wish. I don't think the councillors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. At Journey's End. That's the name of... Was that the name of a quest? Such interesting names for things here. These snobby Charlians, I don't know. Remember how much of a snob Alphino was when we first met him? We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon Niumkruf built their first homes. Right? It's very familiar, Sean. I was like almost certain it was used. I think it's in Kingdom Hearts. I think. But I thought maybe it was a quest name here too. But I don't know. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Charlian families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. The estate belongs to our friends from House Levier. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Charlian tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldician Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Oh, is it? That's so funny. Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below the Aetheryte Plaza? Correct! After you, Burr! Oh. Head down towards the harbor. It is pretty here, though. I don't think we spoke on this one, did we? Charlian is full of educational and research institutions, but there are still professors who prefer to establish their own private practices. Not that I have ever attended the exclusive schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you more about them. Right, we cross this bridge here, as I recall. Stick to the path and be careful not to end up back in the Aetheryte Plaza. Okay, if we hit the Aetheryte Plaza, we've gone too far. Good deal. So are we going, where are we going? Is it there? Yes, the Baldician Annex. Take the long way. Oh, we didn't get all the Ethernets. That was dumb. I got this one. I didn't get the other ones. We'll get them as we go forward. Do, 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 do. This music is very peaceful. There we go. Look at this Ethernet real quick. I'm too distracted. This is a fun little quest. I like that you get to travel with these two. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldician Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive on the doorstep of Phenomenon. But I think we've explored enough for one day. We could take you there another time. Inside with you, then. Looks like some other places we've been to. I'm back, and I brought Burr and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship, then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Burr. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Hojika. Hojika Sunjika. It has been an age. Allow me to introduce Hojika Sunjika, Administration Officer for the students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin, Ijika. Oh yes, Eureka. I've read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have the opportunity to rejoin the expedition. That Eureka one is very, angry. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Al served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlian. They are so funny. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the Isle itself, vanished, the Annex has served as our base of operations, and yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telephoroi fall. Through that door on the left there is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the end run, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms, perfect for an afternoon doze. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed, far more so than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks, and thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might well last into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Take a little nappy. As long as we don't get any ghostly visitors. Oh. Just kidding, we didn't need one. Feeling refreshed and alert, our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. Just kidding, we are very well refreshed already.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telephoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Charlian, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, The 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
What do they know that we do not?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal.
A moon primal?
In response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
All these mysterious towers.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts.
It's the man in the moon.
It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Ooh, maybe like a werewolf. I would like to see it be a man in the moon who comes down with a big old ladle.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts. You are indeed our champion.
Oh, okay.
As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
Oh man, a werewolf on the moon. That would be crazy. I wonder if that's a movie. If not, it should be. Some like cheesy B movie.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Don't be so humble, Graha.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request.
They're gonna go bond. Become best bros.
Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
And break. Go team. Oh snap. That would be interesting, John. Werewolves on the moon. So we get to choose. So what do you guys, which way should we go? What do you guys think? A tire and possibly some chestnuts if you're lucky. That's so silly. Ooh. That's fancy looking. I like that. Oh yeah, Sean. It's hard. It's hard when you have like a big idea. It's a very sleek looking coat. I like that a lot, actually. So snazzy. Who do we hang out with first? The scholarly types or the jocks? Even though Urianger is actually like both. Doop 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 doop. I like that it kind of goes with, I mean, it's silver instead of gold, but I like that it kind of looks okay still with the gold armor that we're wearing. Sometimes it's so funny when we're changing how weird it looks. The scholars? Alright. Sounds good. Hitting the books. Perfect. We'll go there then. An unsettling change has come over Charlian, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what, and how little, they are willing to divulge, which is why I began scouring Charlian's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Sean, that's funny. Let us reconvene outside Numenend, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Numenend. Do 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 do. We'll be back, fellas. Oh, it looks like snow. I know it's not snow, but it looks like it. Oh, yeah, I can't. Wait, where are we going? Oh, that way. Oops. Wait, did I attune to this? I I guess I did, yes. I haven't attuned to all the others, but I love when I waste my sprint because I'm distracted. I think something like that, right? Or is there a lore kind of element to it? Can never know. Do 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 do. Is it up there? I think it's up there. The Studium. The Studium. We've heard about the Studium. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenor, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenor extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenor's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched each Stola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alizé and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or forum policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! Yeah. Let's go do some research, guys. I love these little, they're mammoths, right? Yes, wait. Yes, that's so funny. They look like they have little wigs on. That is hilarious. Little mammoths. Yes, look. So cute. The faded title on the spine reads Stewards of Wisdom. Read the book. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Yen Krumpf, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth and coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. Well, I don't think that's helping us learn anything new. Blue-covered book. Okay. An introduction to the heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Yeah, Sean! Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, our scholars' depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Allag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Alamud, and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably, as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? The book is on the wrong subject. Search for works which contain details on the forum or mention the history of Charlian. Yeah, but it's interesting. It's talking about space. Right. Forever 20 Summers. Well-worn manual. Dark and edgy. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I, too, once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19, or 23, or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research? Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, etherological, and arcane viewpoint. Well, that's definitely not. Right? Right, Sean? Such a weird book. I am forever 20 summers. Leather-bound tome. The voice of a growing city. This sounds promising. In the years which followed the founding of Charlian, a civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Charlian would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the forum as we know it today conceived and created. Okay. Let's see. So we have 2 of 3. We need at least one more. Let's see. Which one looks... Red covered book. Brightly colored book. What else are these called? Are we allowed to run in the library? Is that the one we read already? I think so. Let's see if one of these are. What about the red one? What about red covered book? Roads of Old, the Colony? Oh, maybe. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliac in the Dravidian hinterlands, the Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. Huh. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum or cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. Darn it, so close. What about you? Story of Sharlayan. Okay, maybe this one. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a rogan man by the name of Nionkref. Nionkref was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. Oh. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nionkref's crew hauled them from aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nionkref wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nionkref gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. Hey, wait! I think I remember that boat. That's crazy. You have gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to the rendezvous point and await your companion. Let's rendezvous, shall we? Okay, guys, I did some learning. Oh, it's the gazebo. The vicious gazebo. So funny. I love how it comes together. It is fascinating. I love it. I love learning some more lore. And yeah, that's the one where we meet up with Lise to like overlook things, right? I want to say that's Abalithia. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Kryl should also be along shortly. Cool, that's awesome. Now I know the story. Well, the historical side of it, I guess. The one in the books. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Charlian, we were not to be allowed to cross the threshold. Ah, my heart. The poor babies. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Charlian, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsebard, in fact, for generations my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnar. The Alagons founded a city in that fertile land and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign. Yes, I'm sure the servants know everything. And when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain that they might prevent the remnants of Alagon technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amonis. Sorry, I couldn't tell if my roommates were fighting or just talking loudly. I think they're just talking loudly. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Alagon civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. I know, right? It's interesting. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Alagon Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alag. As the last child born with the Alagon Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldician, who had me registered as a Charlian citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louisoix, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Charlians than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity. What the heck? We outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear! Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Burr. More company should be arriving any moment now. Aw, I get to learn a little bit more about these guys too. I love it. Oh, Graha. We've returned with our selections, although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. Sure. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? Oh dear, we're gonna answer it. Complete destabilization of creation magics, primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the ether. The worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. I don't remember. That's bad. I just know it was bad. I think it was that one. I'm pretty sure. That's what happened. Oh. I knew they were there. Come on, I'm just here to be the muscles. You're the brain, Alphino. Ahem. I believe Hydaelyn and Zodiac were summoned after the final days had arrived. Quite deliberately, in fact. Well, I knew they were summoned. If we are speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of creation magics run rampant is what first comes to mind. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Ishtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Alphino, you can answer this one. I don't know. I'm gonna guess again. Make Alphino annoyed with us. Oh, I got it right. Ah, yes. The Amarotians spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course. Thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually, it resounded all across the star, and not even Amaro was spared. Amaro. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Nomenon's Mamets and ask after many books which might make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac, they summoned Hydaelyn, they knocked Dalamud from the sky. This is like our refresher. They're like, you know, since that happened in the last expansion, let's just bring you up to speed. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought a salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vina and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telephoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Istola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. I'm going to take a quick moment since my dog's being pesty, but since it's Friday night, we can play a little longer. So let me just take care of these guys, another puppy break, and then we'll be back. Just... okay. Tried to catch that song at the appropriate time. It's the little things that make me happy. Sorry. They were not fibbing. So it took us a little longer than I thought it would. But now everyone should be good for bedtime. Except the younger one is so obsessed with the older one right now because I think the older one has an ear infection, which might explain why he attacked the younger one earlier this week. But he apparently when they have ear infections, that yeasty smell is very similar to when a female dog goes into heat. So my younger boy, who both of them aren't fixed, because and it's really not that big of a deal, except for instances like this when the younger one thinks that the older one smells very interesting. So he's extra just like, I feel like I'm just yelling at him all day because he's like won't leave his brother alone. I'm like, come on, guy, he's not interested. Obviously he's not interested in you, and if you keep doing that, he's gonna bite your face off again. But yeah, he doesn't get it, so that's what I'm dealing with lately. But hopefully they should be good now. They got treats, they have done all their business. The lights are turned low. It's a good time to just relax. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you, Dave, also. Welcome back, everyone. I know. I'm like, it's just so goofy. I'm like, my roommates probably think I'm just like so mean to him, but he's literally just being obnoxious. I'm like, I'm not. I even keep telling him, I'm like, I don't like yelling at you, dog. Could you just stop it? Leave him alone. Oh well. Fun times over here at the Burr household. Let's see what Istola might have found. I'm the last one, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Oriange learned of the source's reflections from the Jaron oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Goobal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuner with knowledge of the Telephori and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Reading. It's what I'm good at. This axe is just an afterthought, really. You labor for what feels like an age as Istola's research assistant. Look at these books. All these books. Books, books, books. Alfie over here. So cute. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a Mamet at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Yes. I love New Year. It's so fun. What did we get this time? Ooh, fancy. Boots. I can't see them in this dim lighting. Ready for a tea break, Burr? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Oh no, the tablet! I get that. I'm so bad at typing on these little... on my phone. My fingers too weak. It's so hard to use the touchscreen keyboards. Oh wait, I did attune to this one, right? I think I did, but we'll double check. It's alright. Oh well. Can definitely empathize. That was interesting. That purple thing. Look at the goblins. Gobbies. Alright, let's go have coffee with Alizé. Ugh, coffee sounds good right now, but it is way too late in the night. As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? The only Ned I can think of is the one in this game. It's like Ned Hart or something. Ooh, we do have some decaf. It's very tempting. I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telephori. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? I love this, that we now have them, like, accompanying us. That's so funny. interesting little mechanic to add in there. What? What? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. Perrondier. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telephori. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear, and... Wait. You're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. Humph. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Nancy Drew's boyfriend is Ned. I didn't know that. That's funny. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from someone so enlightened. Come, Bear. Ugh, I was worried about us running into people like that. That would be rude about Alizé. Poor Allie, Alfie. Ned Needlemeyer. 3 amigos. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telephori and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuneau that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Well, we might as well just get our coffee then, eh? Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? You guys know a lot of Neds. Ned Flanders. I know that one. Wait, is that Mistress Alizé I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? Hold on. Dogs, sorry. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? We have questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you are here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? She's like, I will gladly do it. Oh gosh, minigame time. We're doing it in this outfit. They're just gonna believe I'm a server. Or do we get to change our clothes? That's the spirit. Pay attention now and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Where are the orders? What am I doing? Do I have them? This is the tea set, I think. Oh no. Okay, good. It's like they're chatty people, yes, by the water's edge. Oh, my tea set, thank you. The telephone, who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the Sixth Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Well, that's useless, thank you. Gisla, she had not the lobster bake, so whatever else is left, the omelet. Sorry. Ah, finally! 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. Oh, but before you eat, let me ask you this. What? The Telephori? Ah, yes. I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. And then you. Urbane banter with a smile. That's what we'll serve. The lobster. Look at that fancy lobster. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. A what? You don't know what a gleaner is. They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Jarlian. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. By all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telephori make good on their audacious threats, the many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Well, that's interesting. Watch the harbor, you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the dock all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. Well, somebody has got some information then. Somebody believes this is a threat. Hey, Allie. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Thank you. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. The what? This way. like up this one? I guess I could zoom in. There she is. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Can't blame her. Aww. It's a pretty city.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say.
It's good phrasing, I like that. It's so true, too.
Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently.
Yeah, snitches get stitches. But for real, though.
It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
Oh.
If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Where are they taking all that stuff?
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Huh.
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples.
Ah, so true, Sean. It's always when we reflect that we realize what actually was happening and maybe what we could have said better in a situation.
Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Dun dun dun. Time to pay a little visit to the Labyrinthos. Somehow. Some way. Break on in there. Girl, we gotta hook this up. We should tell the others what we've learned about the gleaners. Go on ahead to New Menon and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Run, Alizé, run! Alright, so where are the others again? The Studium. Okay, not too far. Sorry if you hear talking. Peeps are roommates are chatting pretty loudly. It's funny because that's why I thought they were maybe arguing before, because they were loud, but peeps just talk kind of loud in this place. Ain't no thing, but you might hear conversation or two that is not part of mine. Welcome back, Burr. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. We went undercover. Alright, Aramel. Have a good night. I hope you feel better soon. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. Alfie. As Estola observed earlier, Numenen's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Burr and Alizé learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telephoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. A fine idea. What should we expect down there? Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. Well, that's what I'm saying. I like reading. IRL. Sometimes research can be a lot, but I understand not everyone is the studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there and I'll show you where the entrance is. Gosh, I know the feeling, Sean. I'm like typing in Word, Microsoft Word nowadays, and I'm like, gosh, size 12 is so hard to read. It used to be okay. Getting older. Things be changing. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alizé and try not to fall behind. Oh lord. Off we go then. Sets off at a brisk walk? Okay, she's... This is brisk walk. You walk slow, Alizé. Come on. It's pleasant here amongst the trees, but we really should move along. Okay, well, I'll move this way. Now we run. Try to keep up. Oops. My sprint just wore off. Now we cross this bridge. So funny. Up here. Ta-da! The rostra. Not far now. It is. It's beautiful. Such an interesting place to have grown up in, I'm sure. Although it seems really strict and very snobby. Very judgmental types. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Well, no, because I didn't want to lose you. But now that you are there, I am gonna make sure I'm attuned. I don't know if I am. I've attuned to like half of them. Wow, it is beautiful. Whew. Glorious. Alright, now let's go in. Ah, Chocobo Keep. Hello. Look at their fancy outfit, and then they wear that silly bird mask. Oh, hi, Dave. Oh, I was talking to the Chocobo Keep. There we go. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our groups to send. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go. Oh my goodness.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms.
It's so funny.
A simple solution at first,
narrating.
and then bit by bit, a profound transformation.
The shippies!
Knowledge
Oh my goodness.
buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Oh, awesome, Dave. That would be helpful. Aww, this is so cool. What a thing.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
How weird. How neat.
The island is volcanic, you see. And once upon a time, this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh.
Who knows what's wrong with Kryle? Too much reading?
Did you call to me just now?
Oh no, she's hearing things.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent.
Ooh.
I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Weird. That's a little weird. Yeah, right? More echoes. Oh, hey! Let's hop on in. Thank you. This will make it a lot easier. Wow, look at this. Just look at this whole place. That's crazy. There's a whole, like, bunch of cities out here. Yeah, right, Sean? Wow. I like your Chocobo's armor. It's pretty snazzy. One down. Oops. I hate when I'm zoomed out. Oh my gosh. I click things so quick. There we go. There we go. I figured it out. I got it. Clicky, clicky, clicky. Wow. Oh my gosh. Crazy. I love that it looks like medieval, but also like futuristic. Sci-fi. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, this car's fancy. It's crazy. These Charlians. Yes, it gives me Batman Beyond vibes. It's from Final Fantasy XV, actually. Which was an okay game. Definitely not my favorite Final Fantasy. Sad, because it looks beautiful. Like, it's definitely a pretty game. Gosh, look at this place! I love the music here too. It's like a little twangy farm. Wow. Do a slow spin. Cool. I'm impressed. You got me, Charlians. I'm quite impressed. Did you finish? How'd it go? Are you happy with your character now, Latios? Tracks from Transformers. Okay. Not sure if I know who that one is. Can't remember. Thanks, Steve. Fancy. Thank you so much. Alright. We can ride Chocobos here. Ugh. Oh yeah, I'm on my chair. I can't. I hate that. There we go. Bloop. Oh, good. I'm glad you are happy with it. That's the thing that matters most. You want to be able to enjoy your character. My goodness. Thanks so much, friend. Very appreciated. Also, I like your outfit. That's so fun. Your red robes. It's very striking. Alright. On to do some investigating. I'm so curious about what's happening in this little, huge city. You guys are so cool. I appreciate you. Alright, let's talk to these folks. If this dog calms down, he's just crazy tonight. You here to help or give me more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Aaronville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Oh yeah, we write it on little scraps. Let's see. Yes, I see that. Definitely. Let me think. The rhea seeds should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snurbbleberry 1060, or were they 1061? Arg, my head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take them out than carry in? Yes. Aaronville. Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Kurthan carrots for the Girarbanian carrots? What then? Large shipments coming in and out. Girarbanian, I mean. You can't mix up the carrots. Oh no. Could be a catastrophe in itself. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion? Taking stock. Kryl, they're doing some shady things here. Any luck, Bear? What tales did the gleaners have to tell? Here's my scraps. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what it made me think of. I was like, the retail days. No, you didn't! Hi, Gemini! So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. And that would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning labyrinthos upside down in the process. Glorified rat catcher. Oh no. Are we gonna help with the marmots? We would do well to learn more of what, specifically, the gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Burr, I have an idea. Ah! I love that she's crouched down to talk to her. Because it's a secret. It's so cute. Didn't one of the gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Oh my gosh. Yes. Alright. Hi, Aaronville. You wish to help me find the marmots. I'm nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name is Aaronville, friend. Specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nagsian marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. The animal person, okay. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot. Or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Okay. Alright. Down this way. Marmots. Oh, marmots. Whoa. Wait, what? Oh, did you sign us up, Dave? What is this? Huh? What is that? Was I assigned in? What was I doing? No. Wait, how did I sign up? What? I'm so confused. No worries, Dave. I was like, wait, is this something new they've added? This is how roulettes go. No, it's so funny. No worries. We can, there you go. Now you can go ahead. I would have gladly done it with you if we were not, yeah, no worries. It's so funny. I'm more like, what the heck did I do? BB. I am like one of those people. I always feel guilty and I always feel like I'm doing things wrong. So that definitely made me like, what did I do? No worries. That was funny. Okay, I found a grizzled mouse, but I also found a hunting coyote. Okay. What is this move? What is this move? That's new. Bloodwetting. No, you're good. No worries. Okay, so this is our grizzled mouse. Chirp squeak. Barely have you ready the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. Oh dear. Look at you, you're so big now. He grew. Very nice. Snazzy. Now I have to look up at you. That's so funny. Very cool though. I like it. I like the glam. I like that helmet. That's crazy. Perfect. Now you have all the opportunities for new photos. Thank you for showing. I was very curious. I was like, you should definitely come show it off on stream. Alright. Back to hunting these marmots. Which just makes me think of the Big Lebowski. Nice marmot. These things are crazy. These big trolls. They're freaky. Freaky deaky. Okay, there's a marmot somewhere around here. Grizzled mouse. Grizzled mouse. Come here, you mouse. Get this. What is this move? Fancy. So fancy. Da 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 da. Oh, the troll. Left the Lalafels. The trolls are like big sloths. They're kind of cute, but they're kind of creepy. I don't know. Squeak. Oh, yeah. We have the rat sack. No, wait, what? The rat sack. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp. I am so bad at catching rats. Dang. Can we bop it on the head with our axe? Just gently enough to knock it out. Just very lightly, since it's a little animal. Ooh hoo hoo. Is it up here? This music is so happy. I love it. Or is it down? Huh? There. It thinks it's so clever. Chirp. Come on, get in the sack. You little thing. Squeak, squeak. More prepared for its speed this time. You succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. Oh my goodness. Thank the heavens. Okay. I was like, we gotta make sure we go the right way. This way. I changed to the hair of my lady. She's got the braided one now. I liked it. I think it suits her. Ratios. That's funny. Oh no. Yeah, you can't scorn the Lalafels. Oh yeah, Heidelin has visited us. That was crazy. I was not expecting her to come in a humanoid form. That was interesting. I do love how Emmett is narrating this expansion. That's also interesting. Like, I knew he was in the trailer, but I wasn't expecting him to narrate, although I should have. But it's kind of funny. So I feel like we're somehow going to run into him again. It's interesting. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Oh, well, I'm glad you got most of them, because I got 1. And it gave me a heck of a time. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Friends. Yeah, so crazy because you're like, I thought, and you know, like, okay, but he came back during that fight, but like, was that just like part of the shade things or whatever? Like, you know, I'm so confused by it, but you know what? Just have gotten used to the fact that people die in this game and come back to life. Like, there's just a bunch of zombies all over the place. And we just gotta roll with it, you know? Does anyone truly stay dead? Harushafut. That's it. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. Oh yeah, I forget what I said to her. I was like, why now, Heidelin? That's what I said. I know, well, it's weird. But you know what? I'm thinking, okay, so regardless of your religious affiliation or whatever you might believe in, it's such a god thing to do where they're like, even though she's not really a god, but it's acting like a god where it's like, you have to face this thing. Like, I've led you so far, now it's your turn to just face the thing, and I will touch base with you after you have learned. Okay, bye. And I'm like, so typical. Dumb, but she just didn't tell us that she was a primal, which is untrustworthy. I don't even know what to believe anymore. I've lost my faith. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to capture them in the first place? Who's that person back there? What will you do with the marmots now? That's for the Forum to decide. They are the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos, after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed, these were two conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. Oh, Heidelin indeed. There you are, Burr. There you are. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk anyway? Yeah, we're an interesting looking bunch. I am Kryl of the students of Aldesian. Those are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hoped that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? I do like it. I think it suits her very well. Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? Kinda. So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. Yeah. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telephoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but waiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telephorais declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archaeon? From there we can reach the lower... Oh no! Cryo, what's wrong? Is she gonna be summoned somewhere? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archaeon. We follow the path east through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse. Or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Alright, we gotta finish and see what's going on there. Oh, but don't I have the... I do. Because Dave helped me to get them. That's what I'm like. Wait, what? Graha, you don't need to summon people that way anymore. Stop it. No more gates to be thrown open, okay? Just Link Pearl, dude. She'll come down and see you. Behold the Archaeon. As New Manan serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archaeon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Very nice. Craziness. Wow. Well, I think this is where we're going to stop for tonight. Tomorrow we play Life is Strange. Because it's Saturday. Yeah. I keep losing track of the days. But yes, so tomorrow's Life is Strange day. But then on Sunday we'll be back to this game. So I'm glad we got to start this today. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, Gemini. I forgot to say that as well. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I am glad we got to spend a little bit of our time together today. So I think we'll probably end it here. We're getting close to the end of Life is Strange, I think. So we'll have to see what other game we're going to play soon. But don't forget to like this video, guys. Also subscribe if you want to join the Discord. Hey, hold on. Oop, sorry, my dog was bothering my other dog. But the Discord's link is in the description. And also if you hit !point Discord, it'll pop up if you want to join. Oh yeah, Detroit would be a good one. Possibly. I have wanted to play that one for a long time. So maybe that would be a good one to do. But especially because, you know, I think Sean, you'd like that one a lot too. It's another where you kind of... I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like similar to Life is Strange. But you're robots. There's robots that help in the city, kind of like iRobot. I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much, but it's a cool idea. So, Anyway, I will see you guys later. I hope you have a good night. I appreciate you all so much. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.